All Kenyans are tribalist. All Kenyans are corrupt. All politicians are this. And I think this group thinking has become so problematic that we want to compare someone with as clean a record as Sifuna to someone who has cases, this guy has been a criminal since 1992. As long as Ruto is gone, then we are good. Haven't we been? Who
No,
has
we
been
haven't.
here before?
No, we haven't.
And that's what I'm gonna. Who has been here before?
Right.
One thing I totally get. I totally understand, and that the one thing that people never understood about Baba is that Baba was a practical person. He was like, like we can choose to go the pure direction and get nothing achieved. We have a journey of, let's say, 1,000 steps, but we can choose the pure direction, take 0 steps, or we can choose, to work with a team of people that's gonna get us to get a number
Where
of
we
seats
are
or to
going.
win, and we're gonna get at least to 500 steps, and there's a saying of half loaf is better than no bread. And in fact, like when you think about that, many decisions Baba made, like over time, there's an accumulation of these decisions are what led to the new constitution we have, to devolution and so many things that we have. Now back to Lingugi. I'm a very big fan of
Ali,
yeah.
before
Yes.
I was just about to finish my point.
Yes,
and
go ahead.
On that, and that's where I was coming, right? And that's where I was coming when I brought in DCP, and that's where I was coming in is like, the one thing that most people have not noticed right now is that there's an appetite in the country, and that appetite is so huge on how do we get rid of this one thing that's stopping us. Remember, there have been ways on how the government is actually showing deliberately they want to steal the elections, and these are the people are actually knowing that the only way we're going to beat these guys going through solidarity and working together. And as Alia said, it gets to a point where you have to make sacrifices. You'll have to get in bed with people who don't look pleasing to you aesthetically.
Yes.
But they can rally the vote and bring the vote outside there. Most people look at DCP and Gachagua and explain blah, blah, blah. Gachagua is not going to run for president. We all know that. He has no
Are you
appetite for that. He doesn't want
He
to put
can't.
himself in.
He's been impeached. He can't.
He can through a technicality.
With a technicality, he can.
With the technicality, he can. But then, even if he wins, it's going to be a long court battle.
Yeah.
That even he himself doesn't want to put himself through
Yes.
that.
But let's assume that he can't run. And I really want to.
He can't run. He can't run. There's somebody in that coalition that I tell people to look at. Look at Medu. He will be the person they're going to present him as their
Candidate.
either as
their
their
running
deputy,
mate.
as their deputy to whoever's going to be running.
Now,
I think
Mika,
I think that's the route they're going to do.
we are gonna get to that, but before that, I want to deconstruct what Lingugi said, and this is mainly because, first of all, I'm a very big fan of Lingugi.
She's amazing.
She's very amazing, and the work that she's done, she has a lot of courage.
Yeah.
And I really don't know, what got into her to make a post like this. And maybe I'm willing to listen to her to explain herself. But here is a deal.
I don't think so.
I don't think
everybody's taking them left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So why not her?
I mean,
don't think
of
so.
course we don't know, but I don't think
I'm just saying.
she doesn't sound like
I'm
those
just
brown
saying.
envelopes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That
but
post
let's
doesn't sound like her.
But
it doesn't sound
probably-
like her.
but probably-
But I want us to go frame by frame.
Okay.
To deconstruct it. Because she says let's address the elephant in the room, because I feel like many people don't want to have this conversation. First of all, right there at the beginning, everyone wants to have this conversation. So already that beginning right there, everyone wants to have this conversation because we've been having it.
I want to
Now,
laugh. This is how we read the Bible. Go on.
Yes. So yes, we are deconstructing it. Hata kama ni Bible
Line by
study ama
line.
Quran study.
Yeah.
Anasema the plan is to vote for Sifuna simply because he can help get Ruto out. Let's technically look at that statement.
Yeah.
By the way, sisi ndio Sifuna.
Yeah.
This is something very recent.
Yeah.
It's something very recent, and Sifuna is still in the process of building his base. There are people who are actually ahead of him in running, for president. So already this right here it's not an accurate statement, because he's saying so plan is to vote for Sifuna simply because he can help Ruto get Ruto
He doesn't even
out.
have a party
He
yet.
was never even in the conversation. Sifuna was never even in the conversation. This is something very recent.
Okay.
So let's continue.
Yep.
But also, why not? But go on.
As long as Ruto is gone, then we are good. Haven't we been here before? So, okay, as long as Ruto is gone, then we are good. Haven't we been? Who
No,
has
we
been
haven't.
here before?
No, we haven't.
And that's what I'm gonna. Who has been here before? Here's my problem. I think the people, and I'm saying this, I don't know who Lynn Ngugi voted for. She's been really hard on the Ruto government. I can't really quite remember on the Uhuru government. But I think the people who are most annoyed...
No, she was very subtle then.
Yeah.
She
The
was not-
people who are angriest are people who voted for Uhuru twice and then they voted for Ruto. Those are the angriest people. And it's fair enough.
They are so
And
angry.
it is fair
They are
enough.
really,
It is
really
fair
angry.
enough. But I just hope that they learn their lesson. But now it's kind of like
Three times
she's
wrong.
trying.
I don't
yeah,
think so.
It's
Three
like,
times wrong.
No, but Angalia, she's trying to flip this and saying, as long as Ruto is gone, then we are good. Haven't we been here before? Isn't that exactly how Ruto benefited from the anger against Uhuru and Raila? But why are we talking about how Ruto benefited? And Ruto had a history that was known, and based on that history, whoever chose to vote for Ruto knew about that history.
That was a choice.
It was a choice. Like right now, even the people who are who are planning to vote for him in 2027 based on a kabarabara that's been built in their constituency, they know his history.
Correct.
They know his alliance. So it's a choice they're making.
Yeah.
It's a conscious choice they're making. It's kind of like that husband who's cheated on you multiple times and then is coming to tell you, oh, that was the last time. In fact, I am never ever gonna cheat again. In fact, here are opportunities for cheating, and guess what? I am not cheating, so accept me. But we leave that alone. And then she goes further and says, and before that, wasn't Uhuru's victory also driven in part by a wave of sympathy over the ICC cases and the feeling among many supporters that it was time to stand with him and push back against what they believed were targeting him. So
there's no correlation.
Yes.
At all.
What's the correlation here?
There isn't.
So okay, Uhuru and Ruto, had ICC cases. What cases does Sifuna have?
He doesn't have any.
He doesn't even have cases of stealing a matchbox or stealing chicken. He doesn't have any court cases. He doesn't have any of that black history that people are talking about. Then Lynn Ngugi further goes and says, look at how Uhuru's administration left this country. So what country did Sifuna left? What country did he have? Sifuna has been an ODM Secretary General. He's been a senator. So, again, maybe Lynn Ngugi can explain herself. And then she's asking, haven't we already seen where voting out of anger or emotion instead of demanding better leadership leaves this country? So where is the anger and where is the emotion when it comes to, okay, fine, there's anger against Ruto, but,
I think what I gathered by that last, what you just read right now, is she's comparing something with nothing. Like you've not given somebody a chance yet, but you're already saying, oh, the track record of A, B, and C, means like you could also do that. Without seeing like this person could actually do something different.
There's an all abovism argument that I even tried to bring it earlier. All Kenyans are tribalist. All Kenyans are corrupt. All politicians are this. And I think this group thinking has become so problematic that we want to compare someone with as clean a record as Sifuna to someone who has cases. This guy has been a criminal since 1992. This guy Ruto alikuwa kwa gazeti. He was in the newspapers in
Wakitengeneza pesa
1990s.
fake, 500
Yeah,
fake.
kuiba pesa. You know, even people who were stealing kwa YK92, kina Jirongo,
Jirongo.
were looking at him as
Walikuwa
a thief.
wanamuogopa.
Imagine
Yeah.
mwizi anakuogopa. Imagine mtu ni mwizi.
I don't even know any
Yeah,
of the people
anakuogopa
you're
kama
talking
mwizi.
about.
So I don't know, you know, like where this comparison is coming from. And then the worst part of what Lingugi said, you know, like the worstest part, I'm making that word up. If it's not an English word, let's put it in the dictionary. He's saying the next election cannot just be about who is most likely to defeat Ruto. It has to be about who has a clear plan to deal with corruption, protect the constitution, end abductions, and extrajudicial killings, blah, 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 blah. Having these big plans, these big manifestos,
Yeah.
aren't these the things that
They're always in those
that
manifestos.
they're always there? You're asking us for someone who has a plan. Anyone can come up with a plan. Anyone.
She did an execution.
Yes.
She did an execution. Clear
No,
plan. People have
watch out
plans.
execution.
Yeah.
If, for example, you know, like I'm recruiting a surgeon, you know, like I need a surgery. You know, I'm looking to recruit a surgeon. And then you're coming and telling me your background. We know that you're a carpenter or you're a plumber, or you know, like maybe in your free time you do stripping in a strip club. And then now you're coming to tell me you're coming with a plan of how you're gonna do this, you're gonna perform this surgery. And you're telling me that this plan is what I want. So now you're going with a carpenter to do your surgery because they presented to you a plan. That is what Ruto did. That is what Uhuru did. You know, like when they were promising, you know, like bullet trains and all these things. I don't know how many stadiums and all this blah, blah, blah. So to me, this was the weakest part of Lingugi's argument. And I hope, you know, like this was, you know, like some AI takeover of her, you know, like social media page. So this is a very, very bad, a very terrible comparison that she made. I am very disappointed in Lingugi. I still love Lingugi and the content.
You can be
and the
disappointed by
activism she has.
by the comment, not by her, because she could have gotten it wrong.
This is not getting it wrong. This is there's, you know, there's getting it wrong.
You know what I'm saying?
Ali is not
Do you
giving
know-
any
getting
room.
it wrong.
He's not giving any room
For grace.
No, there's getting
No
it wrong.
grace.
That's why I'm hoping
Yeah.
this was some AI takeover, you know, like of her page. Because there's getting it wrong where you maybe simply ask, you know, like Usifuna ni nani.
but you
But you went
see,
in and
yeah.
compared him with people who are murderers, people who have, you know, like presided over grand theft.
Yeah.
You know, like we have so much in odious debt.
Yeah.
And you're comparing it to someone who is mweupe kama pamba. You know, like
Kete.
there's no, there's nothing that people have on his background, because they would have pulled it by now.
Okay.
Ruto's bloggers would have pulled it by now.
I hear you. So can I remember when I said
Lingugi, I'm so disappointed in you.
I think I would say I'm disappointed with the comment you made. Maybe need to rework it, right? But let me say this. And remember when I said sometimes when you go to Kenya and you realize that you have a different point of view of looking at things, I think we are at an advantage because we've seen this before,
Yeah.
right? We've seen somebody who comes without all the track record somebody's supposed to have, goes ahead, wins, and becomes one of the best presidents we've ever had, right?
Yeah.
So we have that POV. Somebody who's not lived on the ground in the West might not have that POV. And so I think that is what she's missing in terms of like, it doesn't have to come qualified with a particular thing that you want him to. He has to come just with the willpower to do the things he's saying he will do.
Yeah. For me,
Yeah.
if she was saying this about Gachagua, that would be a very fair.
True.
Yes, it
True.
would be very fair.
Yeah.
Because Gachagua also has a trail of cases.
Yeah.
He has some issues. If she was saying this about Gachagua, that would be very fair.
I hear you.
But saying this about Sifuna,
yeah.
I feel like there's some malicious
But
intent.
you know, don't assign malice before you know for sure there is malice there.
That's why
But,
I'm saying,
yeah.
you know, like the reason why I'm saying malicious intent based on what was said. Maybe
Yeah.
this is an AI takeover.
You've decided it cannot be her. This has to
This
be
is
AI.
this is very unlean Googie like.
Okay.
Because I'm saying with this because I'm a very big Lean Googie fan.
Okay.
So you know, like I think
Probably you should write her and give her another point of view.
no, Lean Googie, you know, like is a big, you know, like so probably hata ona message yangu nikimwandikia, but this
Ali,
right here.
you're big. The people who pass a message along.
By big, do you mean fat? I'm a big. Anyway, that's
Where that went left in 2 seconds.
No, but
He's your friend.
Yeah.
These are the friends you keep. You may want to watch your friend list.
I can't even respond to that. No. Ali has some big contacts. You know, starting with the man himself.
No, but Mimi, I'm not. I would not consider myself an influencer. You know,
I did not say you are. I just said
yeah.
you do have. Listen, some of these things to pass a message along. You just use your contacts.
Okay.
Say, hey, I think you need to rethink this one. This is why I think probably you got that wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair
and
enough.
also extend grace. Sometimes we get things wrong. There's so many people who got things wrong.
Tumia zile clips za VOA.
Za VOA za
za ODM.
Oh.
Wakati unaongea for ODM ukiwa VOA, Lean Googie akiona zile atajua this is a big shot.
Oh well.
No, it doesn't need to pretend.
No, but now.
I mean, he represented.
But
oh really?
Yes, but the thing with like personalities like Lean Googie, they do have an influence on.
Yeah, of course.
On the direction that people think.
But also, she's also. I think I'm not defending her. I'm just saying. There is when something that is too good to be true comes along, it's easy to
dismiss it.
Okay, how many people dismiss Obama?
No, Obama was dismissed by so many.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I may ask you, Ali.
Yeah.
Is the issue the donational point of view? Because I read that a couple of times, and I think there's a lot to take from that.
Yes.
And people to be careful moving forward. And I believe that was a good point also for Sifuna himself and anybody who's running.
Yes.
Knowing that, there are other people who think of me this way.
No,
so I
enough.
took that in a very, very, I think, I'm glad she put it out there.
Yeah.
Now, people will be, touched by, maybe how they feel and everything.
Yeah.
But if you take all the emotion out of it, actually, I think that's very helpful for Sifuna himself moving forward. I think it just kind of builds him than hurt him. If you take just the point of view and just don't worry about the donation.
Fair enough. The thing with the donation is, if you're a fan of Lean Googie, you will understand. And if you've been listening to Lean Googie for a long time, you'll understand this doesn't sound like him. Ni kama mimi nimeingia social media na nimeanza kumsifu Kasongo. People who know me will they're gonna start being suspicious of is this really Ali who's saying this, ama kuna mtu take over page yake au labda amelipwa,
or probably she's opening there's an opening to have a conversation with her.
Atakuja ku clear the
unajua ilikwenda kusema kitu lakini acha ninyamaze.